Here we are going to look at the Tower Park Roundabout in Poole, the junction of Dorset Way and Old Wareham Road. It's not an especially complex roundabout, although it can be busy and the approaches from Dorset Way are at higher speed. As usual, I've included a link to the Google Maps location so you can walk through the roundabout on Street View to get a good feel for it. I've also included a link to a roundabout tutorial video that may be useful if you need to refresh your knowledge of how to select lanes and what signals to give at roundabouts. If we are approaching from the southwest from Poole, you are either turning left, first exit towards Bournemouth and Ringwood, or right, second exit, taking the exit shown as a little stub on the sign. The reason it is shown like that is that at the directional scale the green sign is intended for, the second exit doesn't go anywhere significant. There is a second white sign closer to the roundabout which does show where the second exit goes to, as it deals with a more local directional scale. If you are taking the first exit, you can see a line that cuts left of the roundabout symbol on the sign. This is what is known as a protected or dedicated lane. It is a lane that doesn't have to give way at the roundabout to keep traffic flowing. So to take this route, you only need to slow down enough to negotiate the corner. If we move a little closer, you can see how the lane is formed with hatched paint isolating it from the main roundabout. A word of warning though, approach in a defensive frame of mind. It is only paint that forms the separation here, there's no physical barrier. So keep an eye on cars on the roundabout to make sure they aren't trying to exit across the paint into the left-hand lane, potentially coming into conflict with you. Another note of caution is, if on your driving test you find yourself in the right-hand lane approaching the roundabout and want the first exit, I would recommend just turning right to the second exit instead, as I have found that driving examiners regard turning left from this position as turning left from a right-hand lane. There's a whole tangent that I could go off on this about the safety and legality. But as an inexperienced driver, it's best just to keep everything as simple as possible. So the two options at the roundabout from this direction are shown in the overhead view. Because Dorset Way is quite a fast, busy section of dual carriageway, if you are turning right to the second exit, it is worth making sure that you move across in good time in preparation. If you do find yourself caught out in the left-hand lane close to the roundabout, simply follow the protected lane around rather than try to force your way across into the right-hand lane. Approaching from the north, we can turn left, first exit, or continue along Dorset Way towards Poole and Dorchester. Notice how the continuation of Dorset Way is shown as a thick line. This is an indication that the road continues as a dual carriageway in that direction, so we can expect that two lanes will go in this direction. As the exit is not far past straight ahead, we can treat it as following the road ahead rather than as a right turn. As we get closer, you'll notice how the left lane splits in two, to form one lane going left and two following the road ahead. Generally, you are likely to be in the left-hand lane approaching the roundabout, in which case use the leftmost of the two lanes marked for ahead. Make sure if you are doing so that you keep well left on the roundabout so that traffic on your right has space to go around the roundabout also. If you are in the right-hand lane approaching the roundabout, remember to come back across to the left-hand lane once off the roundabout if you are no longer making use of the right-hand lane to overtake slower traffic. Approaching along Old Wareham Road, you can either take the first exit ahead towards Wimborne and Dorchester, or take the second exit turning right towards Bournemouth. The view here is deceptive, but you are travelling down quite a steep hill. The 50 signs ahead are terminal signs, meaning they mark the start of a new speed limit. Before that, the limit is 30 miles an hour. Be warned, it is very easy to go too fast here. The combination of the hill, seeing the speed limit signs, and perhaps assuming you are already in a 50, and the widening of the road to two lanes all contribute to allowing your speed to creep up. Many driving tests have failed on this stretch of road by candidates going significantly over 30 well before the change in limit. We can use either the left or right lane to go ahead here, but as the road is only just widened, I wouldn't expect a learner to normally be in the right-hand lane unless they've been told to turn right. If you are turning right to the second exit, make sure you don't cut across the hatchings into the left-hand lane as you leave the roundabout. Without the hatchings, this would be the correct route, but here you should exit into the right-hand lane and then, once safe, move across to the left-hand lane if you are not overtaking vehicles.